Johnson and Stoklos, Boulliane and Lewis, 1 game to 15 points. Boulliane, blue top, multicolored July 4th trunks. There's Brian Lewis. Out for 7 weeks. Can he do what Scott Akatubby did last week? Win after having not played for a while. Johnson serving first. They'll test Boulliane. Johnson, Stoklos, he puts it away.
I asked Randy Stoklos in the players' tent, who are you going to serve, who are you going to work on? And he says, first play of the match, you will see loud and clear. They're going to go after Bill Boulliane under all kinds of pressure. Never been in this sort of situation in his career.
Johnson, second serve to Boulliane.
Here we go.
Johnson goes and gets it.
Nobody, get up there.
And back on Boulliane. Got to be a little nervous. Johnson again. AJ puts it away.
Fabulous start by Johnson and Stoklos. And again, they're going right after Bill Boulliane during the rally. A free ball, and they get it right back on Bill Boulliane. And then Adam Johnson, who's new to the right side, he always played on the left, showing you good trouble shots in that point-scoring opportunity.
Boulliane and Lewis trying to take their time and slow it down. 2-0 Johnson Stoklos lead. Lewis. And Johnson is there again. AJ, see ya.
Boy, just reading them like an open book. Randy Stoklos blocking line. Adam Johnson going to react, cover the cross court all over the cut shot. Brian Lewis hits it right to him. And then Stoklos, one of the best setters of all time. Cutty for Cutty, AJ with the score.
Brian Lewis calls his first 22nd timeout. Some marvelous defensive play by Adam Johnson. And Louis will talk it over with his partner, Bill Boulliane. The Miller Lite Cup is an awards program. At the end of the year, Miller Lite gives out $750,000 to the most deserving players on tour based on performance.
Well, week in, week out throughout the course of the season, you do well, you take home first prize, you take home points. Karch Kiraly and Kent Steffes currently tied for the lead, but since Kiraly sat out this week, Steffes will go ahead and is likely to win $100,000 at the end of the year.
Randy Stoklos has won 3 Manhattans. He's looking for number 4. Of course, the all-time record holder, Karch Kiraly, has won 6. Boulliane's got to put one away. And he does. He talked very frankly about his maturation as a player. Boulliane, a big guy, 29 years old, all the physical skills.
Well, he said early in his career he was in love with a lifestyle. He liked being a little bit of a sports star. He partied a little bit too much, but the last 2 years he's really focused on being a professional athlete. Concentration, maturation has been the key for him, and the results have come along with it.
Stoklos tees off. Randy Stoklos, the longtime partner of Sid Jim Smith.
I think the 3-day format really has helped Stoklos and Johnson coming all the way back from 9th. They had a tremendously difficult day yesterday, but one went home and rested, and now they're ready to go again.
Lewis, showing his experience, goes on 2.
Brian Lewis is actually, of course, younger than Bill Boulliane, but Lewis is farther along in his career at an earlier stage and has played in big matches, several of them with Randy Stoklos last year when they were a partnership.
Boulliane with a jumper, and he just misses. So Boulliane misses the jumper, and now Adam Johnson will have it. Adam Johnson, 11 titles. He's won 5 with Kent Steffes. 29 years old. And he aces. 4-0.
Boulliane told me he wasn't going to feel the pressure. That's not true. He's feeling it. Off to a very poor start right now. The hubby-wife area, a new partnership. Even though Lewis and Boulliane have played together some, they have not played together for a number of years.
Boulliane hits it straight down. And now Brian Lewis will have it. As Paul told you, Brian Lewis out 7 weeks. He injured his knee on a railroad spike in Dallas, Texas, diving for a ball. He was out. He got some crazy diagnosis, and he really didn't have it licked until 4 weeks in. Johnson, and Johnson puts it away.
When Brian Lewis is 100%, he's got one of the most lethal jump serves on the beach, but he's fatigued right now. He needs to dig in, and Lewis and Boulliane need to have something good happen before the first side change, and they've had none of that so far, down 4-0.
Stoklos again on Boulliane. And Boulliane tapping it over the top. Boulliane, as we have detailed, has never won. He has won $34,000 so far this year, $138,000 in his career. He went to San Diego State. 6'5", 210 pounds.
Come on!
Nice shot, Adam Johnson. Looking comfortable.
Adam Johnson been in this situation many times before with Ricky Ludes when they won tournaments together. Been in finals with Randy Stoklos. Was in the finals here last year in Manhattan with Brooke Vandeweghe. Very familiar with this sort of circumstance on center court.
They'll try Lewis. And Lewis puts it away. Johnson and Stoklos did not like the set.
It was not perfect. Watch for the ball rotation coming out of Bill Boulliane's hands. You have to contact the ball simultaneously. And that one kind of fudged out of the deep dish. A little too much chocolate sauce on that one.
Brian Lewis, interestingly, chose Bill Boulliane to play this week because he is an excellent setter. Johnson, nobody out. Lewis digs it. Chance for the first point for Boulliane and Lewis. No!
Not a great set by Bill Boulliane off a pretty good dig, but I think Brian Lewis, sensing that they had to have something good happen, taking a big chance, hitting the ball from well off the net, and just caught the top of the tape.
Randy Stoklos, who said he dropped St. John Smith because we were like a can of Coca-Cola that had lost its fizz. Now playing with Johnson. Boulliane cut, and Boulliane has relaxed. It's 3-0. Make that 4-0 as Lewis and Boulliane try to get a point. Would you say they're on the good side of the bed?
They are on the good side, but the stands are so packed into the stadium, setting the wind really not that big a factor right now.
Boulliane is wide. A shot of the crowd here in Manhattan Beach, California. It is standing room only, and more people trying to get in. The fire exits are jammed, if you can have such a thing on the beach.
The only opening is to the ocean.
Off the net. Oh, Johnson, yes!
Plays like that win Manhattan Beach Open championships. Comes off a broken play. Brian Lewis with a little knuckler. Everybody thinks this one is in the sand. Adam Johnson playing phenomenal defense. Not only the dig.
Pressure squarely on the shoulders of that man, 29-year-old Bill Boulliane. It is very unusual for a beach volleyball player to win his first tournament at a major. And Manhattan is a major. During the timeout, Boulliane stalking back and forth like a predatory cat. He needs to get his game together right now. He's being served, and they're on him. He's taking off his shirt, and he puts it away.
Hey, so far, Stoklos and Johnson are the predators, and he's the game. It's up to Bill Boulliane right now to settle down, and he said that's been one of the keys to his movement up the ranks. He used to be a real wild guy, would lose his temper. We've seen him kick the ball off the court to lose matches. He's trying to harness that emotion and focus it at the opposition. Now would be a pretty good time.
5-0, Johnson and Stoklos lead. Brian Lewis trying to get a point for his team. Oh, nobody's up, and Stoklos kills it. Boulliane backed up.
Hey, he bailed out.
Yeah.
Way too soon. That bump set by Adam Johnson was right on the mark. And Bill Boulliane, the blocker, has got to stay at home and challenge Stoklos.
So Randy Stoklos to serve. Lewis lobs out of bounds. 6-0 is our score. Remember, Lewis and Boulliane won the winner's bracket, so they've had an easier time, but they may have cooled off waiting for this to come about. Stoklos and Johnson, meanwhile, playing their way through the losers or contenders bracket, if you like.
I just think the pressure of Manhattan right now on Bill Boulliane is being very difficult for him to handle. Would be difficult for anybody to handle. Their first final comes at Manhattan. These two teams met, of course, earlier in the tournament, and Boulliane and Lewis won by one as time expired. And the key to that was getting off to a great start. It's been a complete turn of tables for the championship.
Boulliane with the serve. Johnson hammers it. Whoa, Johnson's got some velocity today.
Side out, Stoklos and Johnson.
Of course, you watch Adam Johnson over the years, you know he is known for the lethal jump serve. Remember the one that got Karch Karai in the upper chest last year, as Johnson and Vandeweghe went out to a 10-2 lead, but couldn't hold it. So stranger things have happened at Manhattan. Boulliane, and Boulliane hits it out.
4 unforced errors already for Bill Boulliane and Brian Lewis. The third ball that's been hit directly out of bounds.
7 serving 0.
Got to take a timeout. A little surprised that they're not. There they go. So Brian Lewis takes the full timeout and needed timeout. 6 minutes and 52 seconds. Not much time has been run off the clock. Now, Bill Boulliane and Brian Lewis have played together over the years. First this year, and they're having trouble getting started in this match.
Bill Boulliane right now has got everybody's got a favorite shot. For Randy Stoklos, it's hard cross court. Boulliane's got to go, okay, what's my strength? Play to your strength. Hit hard cross court. Make the opposition beat you. Don't give it up on making mistakes. And there is another second ace by Adam Johnson, again up the hubby wife area. This is a Manhattan Beach Open, fellas. Bill Boulliane and Brian Lewis, both of them very fiery players, have got to find something to get themselves jump-started.
Johnson continues to serve. And Lewis dug up by his old partner Stoklos, and Stoklos puts it away. Wow. Lewis trying to help his partner by going on 2, but remember, he and Randy Stoklos played together.
10 tournaments last year. Lewis and Stoklos were a partnership. They even won in Chicago last year, and that one lost its fizz very quickly, and they went their separate ways.
Johnson serving with a 9-point lead, and he's out of bounds. So Johnson and Stoklos in a commanding position. Up by 9 points in a game to 15. Now Lewis will serve. Lewis and Boulliane just need to get 1 point. That would relax them a bit, I think.
Well, they need something positive to happen, certainly. And I think the crowd would really get behind them. Bill Boulliane, if the fog would clear, we could show you that Bill Boulliane grew up about 4 miles south of here. And he's got a lot of his friends and family here that are dying to cheer for him, but they need something positive to happen.
Boulliane will position himself at the net. Johnson and Stoklos so far have been perfect. 9 points for and needle against.
Was that needle or kneel?
Stoklos. And Stoklos bolstered by a good set there. He will serve.
But Johnson and Stoklos looking impeccable. This is what a lot of people expected from them all season long, but they have hit so many bumps in the road. 7th last week. They have not won in over a month since San Francisco.
Lewis. Johnson is there. Stokey. Boulliane's got to put this one away. Not yet. Johnson pokes it out of bounds. Said it many times, Paul, you never know when a rally can begin with a simple little play like that.
Side out.
Got a little help right there from Adam Johnson. An easy chance, but it shows you how confident, what kind of role Adam Johnson and Randy Stoklos are on. AJ just shooting the ball on 2.
Serving Stokey. Over. Lewis. Boulliane can't get there.
I can't see his back still, man. Ask my line something. Okay? Don't worry, I'll ask everybody before the call.
So tough early going for the team of Boulliane and Lewis as they try to get their act together.
Brian Lewis trying to calm his partner. The pressure cooker of center court has gotten to Bill Boulliane.
Johnson, another spectacular dig. Lewis snaps it.
Time is not a factor in this match so far because Johnson and Stoklos were so good so early. Lewis and Boulliane just have to forget about the clock, forget about the score, quite frankly, and focus on one good play at a time.
So Brian Lewis sets for takeoff, trailing 0-9. Looking for a hubby wife ace.
Looking for anything. There it is!
So the husband and wife play rears its ugly head for Johnson and Stoklos. Lewis and Boulliane are on the board. Still plenty of time remains here in Manhattan Beach. However, just dancing. Referee Marvin Hall doing his thing.
Open a new dancing school here in Los Angeles. You come to sit down for a nice meal, and then you go dance a little. Marvin seems to get the order wrong every once in a while.
Back live at the Nestle Manhattan Beach Open, presented by Old Spice. I'm Chris Marlowe. My partner, Paul Sunderland. Johnson and Stoklos scored 9 unanswered points. Bill Boulliane, playing in his first tournament along with Brian Lewis, just got a point a moment ago on a Lewis ace. Crowd is trying to rally Boulliane and Lewis. We'll see. Johnson hits it on the line. Wow. Right on the line for Johnson.
Wow, that ball looked out to me. Maybe catches the last fiber. That ball landed out of bounds. That ball lands out. Wow. That could have given Boulliane and Lewis some momentum, and they need all the help they can get right now.
Boulliane, and he puts it away. Interesting story about Bill Boulliane. His nickname is Beef. It was given to him at San Diego State by a pal, John Edo, and so far here in Manhattan it has been, where's the beef? He plays better in his Beef Boulliane persona than he does as Bill Boulliane.
Well, but it's hard to be yourself and let your real personality and aura, so to speak, come out in this sort of fishbowl atmosphere when you haven't experienced it before.
Stoklos looking unstoppable so far. His team up by 8, 9-1.
Yeah.
Johnson coming at you. Boulliane sneaks it through.
Starting to get into a bit of a rhythm. You know, Bill Boulliane had a promising collegiate volleyball career at San Diego State, but his coach got on him about his work ethic and kicked him off the team. And Boulliane said, hey, my coach was full of it at the time. But he says, as I got a little older, as I worked a little bit harder, I realized that, hey, my coach was right. And it was that sort of realization that's led him to get into the weight room where he just about lived since November.
Boulliane, very, very talented. So is his partner, Brian Lewis. They have gotten off to a shaky start here, however. Stoklos. And a chance for a point. Lewis shoots it. Johnson is there. AJ. Lewis is there again. Big play here. Louis. Yes.
I don't think that was the peace sign. I think that was Brian Lewis, says that's number 2. And let's remember, Brian Lewis out for 7 weeks with a severely injured knee. A lot of people, including his doctors, thought that his season might be over, and here he is.
Lewis. It's 9-2. Stoklos drills it. Once again, want to remind you, if you did not see the Manhattan Open last year, Brooke Vandeweghe and Adam Johnson had a 10-2 lead on Karch Garai and Kent Steffes. Karch and Kent, I believe, as memory serves, scored 13 unanswered points and won 15-10. So momentum can change, as Adam Johnson surely knows. Johnson watches Stoklos serve it out of bounds.
And if you're wondering about Randy Stoklos last year, he was unable to compete because of a back injury and sat that one out. Really glad to be back in the finals. Has had some tough luck here. Has not won since 1989.
Boulliane to serve. Stoklos murders another one. Unless Boulliane can stop Stoklos at the net or stop Johnson, it's going to be a long day.
I think Boulliane and Brian Lewis have got to serve tougher. That's the key. If Johnson and Stoklos pass well, it leads to plays like that. Randy Stoklos absolutely right over the top of a big beef Boulliane.
In case you're just joining us, Karch Garay once again did not play this week because of a bruised kidney. We're hoping he's going to be back in 2 weeks. Eduardo Anginho, Jose Loyola finished third. Brent Frohoff, Ricky Ludes finished fourth. So Brian Lewis will serve. Should he serve Stoklos or Johnson?
No, just serve really hard. Try to create a bad pass. Right now, it doesn't matter who passes the ball. You just want to create some havoc.
Stokey gets it. And Stoklos crunches it cross court. So Randy Stoklos spiking at will.
Stoklos and Johnson. Stokey to serve.
His parents did not want him to play contact sports when he grew up. Talking about Randy Stoklos. Never played football or baseball, conventional American sports. Lewis. And Lewis hits it to Johnson, who missed a relatively easy dig for him.
I think Boulliane and Lewis are back in this match. They've settled down, and Stoklos and Johnson, surprisingly, are serving Brian Lewis, who, according to Randy Stoklos, is a cocky sort of guy. Sometimes a kind of bitter pill to have to be around. But Brian Lewis has played well, and you can see Bill Boulliane going right now, just trying to serve as hard as he possibly can.
Boulliane finished third last week. His best ever finish with Jeff Rogers, then was forced with the decision to play with Lewis or stick with Rogers. He chose Lewis. He's in for at least second today. Cut shot. And he is definitely calmed down, looking
if he didn't have opening match jitters, he wouldn't have a pulse. I mean, this is a huge moment for any. This is where every beach volleyball player dreams of being, in the finals of Manhattan. And now he's settled into a pretty good groove.
4.5 minutes to go in the game. Plenty of time. Lewis and his partner trailing 9-2. Johnson, Louis with a dig. Johnson got it. Adam Johnson pounding hard from the right side. We should tell you, Adam Johnson has won 11 tournaments in his career, but he has said this is the one he wants to win the most. Remember, he's the former U.S. champion. He has won Cuervos. He has won international tournaments. His wife, Jennifer, hoping that he can get the job done at prestigious Manhattan.
Good, Brian.
Cut shot. Nicely done by Lewis. Lewis and Boulliane need to serve it up.
I think Stoklos and Johnson right now are making a mistake. They have let Boulliane relax for a while and become a setter, taking the pressure off by serving Brian Lewis. And now when they do serve Boulliane or Brian Lewis, they're seeing some side outs and very smooth ones come right back at him.
Boulliane's got a choice. Stoklos, who's been hitting hard. Johnson, who's been hitting hard and accurate.
And disdaining the jump serve at this point.
Johnson looks good, side out. Of course, people would say, why don't you just serve it down the middle of the husband and wife area every time? Why not?
Well, it's a hard area to get to. That no communication, you know, it's very valuable, but it's a very small, troublesome area. And it's very difficult to get into that spot. I think Lewis and Boulliane's only chance is they got to get 3 aces between now and sort of comeback time.
And they have to side out. They have to get possession every time and not allow points. All-time great Ron Von Hagen used to say it best, if you don't let the other team score, they can't win. And that's what you do when you side out.
Just a war of wills right now, and Boulliane and Lewis have settled down pretty well. Stoklos and Johnson try to slow things down in their own right. They sense a change in momentum.
What do we got on the clock?
20-second timeout taken.
10 seconds.
A good look at Brian Lewis Sr., who won a tournament back in 1970, Santa Cruz Open with John Vowley, one of only 3 father-son combinations that have ever won on the beach. Bernie and Dane Holtzman They each won tournaments, not with each other, of course. Gene and Dane Selznick. And Brian Lewis Sr., Brian Lewis Jr. So the Lewises here in force. Brian Sr. watching Brian Jr. getting off to a very slow start, trailing 9-2. And into the net.
Yeah.
Interestingly, Brian Lewis Sr. also filmed the first ever beach volleyball film. It was called Beach Volleyball Coming of Age. He did it back in 1975.
A little before his time.
A little forecasting. Lewis, Stoklos with a dig. And it's bumped right back to Lewis, and Stokey's there again. Stokey's everywhere. Lewis, Stokey can't get it.
Huge dig by Brian Lewis, saving the play after his team almost gave it away. Randy Stoklos playing some backcourt defense. We're used to his familiar position at the net. Look at this set by Adam Johnson. Maybe a little bit of memory of last year. AJ with a shank overset.
Working on Stoklos, so far no success. I think I disagree with the strategy of Boulliane and Lewis. If I'm men, I serve Johnson most of the way if I can.
Well, Randy Stoklos has passed the test. He gets an A+ right now. He's passing well. He's crushing the ball, moving the ball around. I go to Adam Johnson and see what he can do, at least for a period of time.
9-2, Johnson and Stoklos lead. Now, if you're wondering why would you serve Johnson, put pressure on him. He has never won at Manhattan. He lost a big lead last year, a 10-2. Granted, they're up 9-2, but still that thought is in that mind somewhere.
Hey, Bill Boulliane does not have a monopoly on pressure on center court. Adam Johnson, everybody out there knows how big an event this is.
Tough serve going. Nice save. And right back to Bill Boulliane. Bill beats it down the line. 9-3.
We're getting a ball game. Brian Lewis looking for hubby-wife area there down the middle and created a lot of problems for Johnson and Stoklos.
3-9.
Let's go.
Johnson is trying to slow down the pace by toweling off, and referee Jim Leonard said, let's go.
Hey, that's delay of game, and Lewis and Boulliane are complaining about it. And Jim Leonard has charged Johnson and Stoklos with one of their 4 sand timeouts.
Lewis says, we've got 3, and there could be more on the way. Back at the grandest mommy of them all, Manhattan Beach. Is there pressure starting to mount on Adam Johnson and Randy Stoklos? After all, they lead by 6. It would seem comfortable right now.
Yeah, but it came too easy in the beginning. Boulliane was kind of giving it away. Now they're starting to struggle for those points. And Johnson is beginning to feel it. And you have to wonder if Brian Lewis will go right after him here.
9-3. Brian Lewis, it came out clean. Johnson can't get it up.
Brian Lewis is the human scoreboard. 4 up on the board, and what a dig by Brian Lewis. Everybody anticipating a call, but it just came out nectar.
Lewis serving. And he fires one out of bounds. So Johnson and Stoklos trying to regroup after getting off to a big 9-0 lead.
You know, sometimes when you get out to a huge lead and you haven't really done that much to earn it, once you start facing some real resistance, psychologically, you're not ready for it. Stoklos and Johnson need something good to happen to get the momentum back.
Boulliane. Johnson has it. Beautiful play. Stoklos score!
That was huge. Stoklos doing just about all of it here. The soft block, AJ, what control after shanking a previous point-scoring opportunity, sets the ball in perfect position for the score to Stoklos.
Johnson and Stoklos are ahead by 6. broken by Boulliane and Lewis, the 20-second variety. So Johnson and Stoklos get a very, very important point, stem the tide, and lead by 6 in a game to 15.
10 seconds.
And we go.
Don't forget, a little later today, NBC Sports presents the Major League Baseball All-Star Team Selection Special presented by Texaco.
Brian.
For the first time, the All-Star starters and reserves will be revealed live before a national audience. The All-Star Selection Special that is coming up next right here on NBC.
I'm asking you. He's out on the court.
They're discussing delay of game.
Yeah, Stoklos and Johnson. It's a 20-second timeout. Stoklos and Johnson with the serving team ready to go. And Brian Lewis just got hit with a delay of game warning. Louis tipping his hat in deference to the referee. Or maybe not in deference, maybe some indifference.
Stoklos serves Lewis. And Lewis is stuffed. Stokey, the man at the net. So just when Lewis and Boulliane had gotten a little momentum
Side change, Stoklos and
and
Johnson.
changed.
Superior straight down stuff block.
Some of the defense suggested by Mike Dodd, played by Adam Johnson. Stoklos and Johnson lead by 7. The ST Manhattan Beach Open presented by Old Spice. AJ and Johnson looking for their first Manhattan win together. The ball off the block, out of bounds. Randy Stoklos has won 3 Manhattans. Adam Johnson trying to get his first today. 11-4 is the score.
Randy Stoklos, if you ask him, says, hey, I've had a lot of bad luck here. I've lost to Karch Kiraly and Kent Steffes in double overtime. I've lost to Frohoff and Kiraly in overtime as well. Maybe it's my turn.
Stoklos, down the line he goes. Nice shot. So Big Randy looking for his 4th title, and now AJ will serve. What a win this would be for Johnson. Another major for him. Boulliane, Johnson can't get there. Give Beat Boulliane the kill. Johnson and Stoklos got off to a fast start, led 9-0. Boulliane and Lewis came back to 9-4, putting a little pressure on AJ and Stokey, but then a great dig by Johnson and a stuff block by Stoklos made it 11-4.
Lewis missing a lot of serves here, trying to go for it, knows that he has to put pressure on the team of Johnson and Stoklos. And there you see Randy Stoklos, you know, such a phenomenal career. 1990-91, back-to-back 11-win seasons, and then since then has really struggled. Broke up with the legendary St. John Smith last year and has been looking for that right combination ever since.
Lewis into the net. So fatigue could be hitting Brian Lewis out for 7 weeks as he rehabilitated a bruised kneecap.
12-4.
And now it is 12-4.
Stoklos and Johnson went to Bill Boulliane early. They knew he would be nervous. That worked for them, got them out to the big lead. And they also knew that Brian Lewis, after 7 weeks off and rehabilitating that injured knee, would be tired come the end of the match. Good strategy.
Lewis got it. Stoklos thought it was a throw. It could have been.
Side out, Boulliane and Lewis.
Boulliane and Lewis will have the ball.
If there is a good side, Johnson and Stoklos currently occupy it. The wind is at the backs of Bill Boulliane and Brian Lewis, which means that if they jump serve as hard as they can, it's going to be carried long. They have to take a little heat off the jump serve in order to keep it in.
Boulliane at Stoklos. Stoklos puts it away. Couple of quick other finishers. Eric Vanoy, Moana, Tim Hovland finished 5th, along with Mike Dodd, Mike Whitmarsh, Troy Tanner, Wes Welch, Scott Akatubby, and Kent Steffes finishing in 7th. Some big teams down low this week at Manhattan. Johnson serving. Inside, AJ. Almost. It's about the only place that Johnson couldn't have gotten the ball on that play.
Adam Johnson in perfect digging position in the angle. Stoklos taking away the line, and just tantalizing across the tape. Johnson almost there.
Here we go. Sand time over here.
20-second timeout taken by Johnson. Periodically, he has to towel off because he's molding through the sand to try to dig up some of those balls.
We showed you Mike Dodd on defense. AJ right there as well. He's in. He's digging the angle. Stoklos is taking line. Everybody knows the ball's going there. Look at AJ is right there.
All right, let's go.
Adam Johnson trying to win his first. What an achievement that would be. Of course, Karch Garai, the all-time winner, with 6. Everybody else has 5, and well, I didn't play that long. I had to help you out with your announcing career, Paul, so I can only had time to win a couple.
I just can't tell you what a debt of gratitude. My kids go to bed every night. They're going, oh, Chris, thank you, thank you.
Brian Lewis serving. Score is 12-4. It's been a marvelous performance for Adam Johnson and Randy Stoklos.
And really a team effort. Boulliane and Lewis have tested both of them. Setting, hitting, doesn't matter. Stoklos and Johnson have been completely to the task.
Stoklos. And it's out of bounds. Still theoretically time for a comeback. Just about 2 minutes and 16 seconds to go. A tick under.
The only chance, in my opinion, is if Boulliane and Lewis can get to the 12-8 side change, and that's a mountain to climb coming from the bad side. They need a couple of aces at least.
Johnson. Lewis. It's going, gone. So give another kill to Adam Johnson, his 8th.
Stoklos with 14, Johnson with 8. Boulliane and Lewis obviously serving more balls to Randy Stoklos.
Johnson and Stoklos just 3 points away from winning Manhattan.
Johnson he made it to the finals last year, but 10-3 lead against Brian Stoklos.
Don't have to score.
Lewis, Johnson with a dig. Stokey.
It's got to come. There was a touch on the block. It's one of the real differentiations between the rules indoors, where the touch on the block does not count if one of your 3 contacts, whereas the touch on the block counts right here. Brian Lewis will rip the ball. You can see it contact Stoklos' hand while he's attempting to block. That was 1 contact. There's 2 from Adam Johnson. There's 3 and 4. You count them. The touch on the block counts. Different rules from indoors.
Lewis with the serve, and he's wide. So the inability of Lewis and Boulliane to side out, and the inability to get the jump serves in has cost them. They trail by 8, 12-4. Coming out.
You good, 1, 2, 3.
Perfect set. Boulliane. Johnson is there. Boulliane. Johnson is there. AJ.
Line.
And he puts it away. Johnson's defense has been magnificent.
8 digs in what has been a fairly abbreviated match, not that many opportunities. Bill Boulliane, lots of chances there to hammer the ball to the sand, choosing to poke the ball softly around the court. AJ just motoring, covering everywhere.
Lewis will take timeout. 20 seconds.
Full timeout.
Full timeout.
Full timeout.
A disappointing
Boulliane
performance
and Lewis.
so far for Boulliane and Lewis. They trail. We'll be back after these messages from your local station.
Oh, yeah.
While we were away trying to get Brian Lewis's legs to work, Dr. Doug Anderson giving him the fast massage.
Well, a lot of lactic acid building up in there. You've used up all the available glycogen, and I've used up all my available kinesiology terms. But face the facts, Brian Lewis's legs are tired, and why not? After 7 weeks off and rehabilitating that leg, you just can't duplicate this sort of effort.
It has been a Cinderella tournament for Brian Lewis and Randy Stoklos. Make that Lewis and Boulliane. I keep saying Lewis and Stoklos because they used to play together. Boulliane and Lewis guaranteed second place.
Best finish ever, and Bill Boulliane might not win Manhattan, but he has elevated his stature out in the world of pro beach volleyball. This, like Eric Fenoy Moana, is now a new player out on tour to be dealt with from now on.
Johnson serving, leading 13-4. Boulliane puts it away. The story of this championship final in the first minute and a half, where AJ and Stoklos got out 9-0. Inability of Boulliane and Lewis to get possession and prevent the other team from scoring quickly.
Right now, Johnson and Stoklos, too, doing a little clock management here. Just a little damage control. If they can side out just for a period of time, this championship is theirs.
Lewis sends it up high. And Boulliane blocked it.
Brian Lewis showing you how relaxed he was before the match. Equally relaxed now. A little gamesmanship with the sky ball to try to change momentum and tempo of the match.
Problem with the sky ball, however, it eats up his
long.
own time.
That's right. He'll come back with the ace now, maybe.
Yeah! Lewis with a couple of very impressive serves. It makes the score 13-6. 20-second timeout, Johnson and Stoklos.
Interesting how Bill Boulliane and Brian Lewis got together. A lot of players heard that Brian Lewis was better and available. Bill Boulliane called Brian Lewis and was appealing with him. You say, play with me. He says, well, wait a minute, I got to put Hovland on hold. Hovland's on the other line. He comes back to Bill Boulliane, and on Brian Lewis's other phone, Pat Powers called, so now he's got to put Boulliane on hold. Boulliane gets Brian Lewis back. He says, what's it going to be? And Brian Lewis says, hey, I like the way you set the ball. To heck with those other guys. I played with them. I'm going with you, Beef, and that's how they got together.
Boulliane and Lewis. A minute 16 to make up 7 points. Stoklos off the top. Lewis can't get there. We've seen some fantastic finishes on NBC the last couple of weeks in our coverage, but this would be the most amazing. A 7-point deficit, as Johnson says to Stoklos, let's end it. Stoklos working on Lewis.
Tight sets.
And it's out of bounds. 14-6. When we come back, Stoklos and Johnson will have championship points.
On the side change, Stoklos, Johnson, 14. Louis.
Into the pure, clean taste.
I just get a little bit wet. Punch it, so nasty. Come on, punch it, so dirty. Punch it.
The secret to a strong finish is endurance. High endurance from Old Spice. All day long, it proves it's the longest lasting, hardest working, the best deodorant stick. It evaporates less quickly. It also lasts longer, protects better. Now that's endurance. For the longest lasting, hardest working, the best deodorant stick, demand proof. Get high endurance from Old Spice. You won't go far without it.
This bench gets a professional finish with Krylon spray paint. No runs, no drips, no errors. Dries to the touch in minutes. The other brand's still tacky. Wow, what a game.
Good game, Mr. Euchre.
He's a lot tougher than he looks. For a fast, smooth, professional finish, get Krylon.
Back live to Nestea Manhattan Beach Open, presented by Old Spice. Randy Stoklos looking for Manhattan win number 4. His partner, Adam Johnson, is looking for his first ever. It should be quite a celebration as they serve it up right here. For the win, Stoklos. Not yet. Boulliane goes and gets it. Over Stoklos and down. Boulliane and Lewis have played so well during the tournament. Just not quite enough to meet the more seasoned team of Randy Stoklos and Adam Johnson.
Stoklos and Johnson have won only once all year long. A win here could set up the rest of their entire season, particularly with the question mark of Karch Kirai's health and what will happen with Kent Steffes when he comes back.
Jennifer Johnson. Carrie Stoklos for the championship. Boulliane. And Boulliane cranks it. 48 seconds to go. Lewis trailing by 8. Johnson right to Lewis. And Boulliane on 2.
Yeah, but going for it on 2 because he knows time is winding down, trying to score points as quickly as possible. A little fast break volleyball, but just not enough time left on the clock. Johnson and Stoklos dug in twice, sided out for long periods of time, and just said that, look, Louis and Beef, you've made moves to get back into the championship, but not quite.
Third championship point. Sand timeout first. So Johnson and Stoklos are just a point away.
Timeout.
Don't forget, coming up next, the All-Star lineups
10 seconds.
will be announced. That will be live. That's presented by Texaco. That's next here on NBC as soon as we're off the air.
Probably not a bad team. Ken Griffey Jr. and Barry Bonds. I think they'd be pretty good out here.
Absolutely. So Randy Stoklos, who has been superior. Adam Johnson's defense has been another story. Unbelievable. For the win. Boulliane says no, not yet.
Side out,
Boulliane and Lewis. It's a major stretch. I mean, Stoklos and Johnson in control, but their only hope is 3 or 4 aces back to back to back to back.
Okay.
To back. Not going to happen.
Johnson off Boulliane. So now Adam Johnson will have the ball, the man who scored 2 points in 1 second in Milwaukee. The magician will go for championship point number 4. Papa Brian Lewis maybe watching the final point of his son's Manhattan. Boulliane. Johnson has it up. Clock is running. Lewis gets it. 21 and 8/10 seconds to go for the title.
The chant going up. I'll tell you, the crowd would have been behind Lewis and Boulliane all match long. But handed to Stoklos and Johnson. They were just too steady and too tough.
We'll take time out. We're coming back to Manhattan after this. Welcome back live to the Nestea Manhattan Beach Open, presented by Old Spice. It has been one fantastic tournament, but honestly, it has been a very anticlimactic final as Johnson and Stoklos have dominated the play. They lead 14-6 with 21 and 8/10 seconds to play. Johnson, Lewis shoots it. Johnson is there. AJ socks it up.
Running time off the clock.
Boulliane. Johnson back over. Clock still ticking. And the
without St. John Smith or Jim Mingus. Now he's going to notch his belt with Adam Johnson.
Manhattan Open win ever. The tournament that he considers his most prized possession, or the one he wants the most. Lewis will send it up and it will be over. Johnson will play it. And he puts it away. Johnson and Stoklos say, we'll take Manhattan. The Old Spice winning moment. Let's take a quick look. Johnson and Stoklos in the backcourt at the net. Randy Stoklos with the serve. Lewis trying to get by the block of his former partner. No way on that one. Stoklos, our Old Spice winning moment. Hope you enjoyed it. For Paul Sunderland, I'm Chris Marlowe. The Beach.